Is now a good time to get started in rent to rent? What's the best way to approach direct to landlord during this pandemic? Which is also, that's Amy C, and that's also a great question. He's asked a really good question as well. When estate agents or letting agents are in the same business, why would they need you? You can answer this one. I've got another one. Buy the Block UK. How many times have you used lease options as a strategy, and do they work in all cities?
But let's get straight into it, shall we? This is a little bit of a different video on here. I don't actually know how this is going to come out, but I'm going to be filming the live Q&A, which I have with Stephanie Taylor. I will leave all her social handles in the description box below so you can check her out. So in the live, we'll be taking a few questions on rent to rent and all that good stuff. If you're not already following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, because that's where it all goes down. And especially during this quarantine time, there's a lot going on there, and we've got a lot more lives to do on Instagram, so you might want to follow me on that. And yeah, I've been given the job of setting us up on Instagram live. I've never done this before, so I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to try. I suppose what you do is you go on your Insta first and foremost. What is this, a tutorial on how to get on Instagram? I don't know. Oh, there we go. Add a guest. Let's add Stephanie Taylor. So here we go, guys.
Hello, we made it work. I'm glad you were in charge of that part.
We'll wait for a few people to join. So I do have a few questions for you, of course. You've got a few for me as well. So first and foremost really is, how did you start in rent to rent?
Nearly 4 years ago, I was just working as a waitress in a cocktail bar. I was working in a bank as a contractor, and I heard about property, and my mum got ill, and I really wanted to do something different so that I could be more flexible and be there for my mum. But I didn't know what to do. And then I heard about these property strategies where you can make money from property, not own any property, and not need a lot of money to start off with. And I was like, But then I went to one of these events, you know, where somebody's speaking at the front, and I had all these properties coming across. Property number one, £30,000. Property number two, £50,000. Property number three, this is the money that they were making. And they showed you what they were doing to the properties, how they were improving them, how it was a good deal for the people who they were working with. And honestly, I think I was just
gobsmacked, like, what? Thinking, you can really do this with this strategy. But yeah, there's some like great benefits to the rent to rent strategy, most definitely. It has offered a lot of people a lot of opportunities to actually just generate that extra income in property. But what you can learn as a result of that strategy in itself is incredibly helpful in your journey of investment.
We have had some questions. Can you see them, B?
Yeah.
Donovan said, Donovan wins kickboxing, says, did you have a mentor, or did you just figure it out on your own? So you go first, B.
I didn't have a mentor, but the way I got into property, you can kind of say I did have a mentor. I started with a business partnership where it gave me the opportunity to kind of just get into property pretty much straight away, start analyzing on property investments, trying to find properties that are, you know, viable as investments and so on. So by virtue of being in that business partnership, this is where I really picked up my skills and knowledge in property investment and just generally building a business and that kind of thing. In a way, you can call that a mentorship, but as you may know, the story, it didn't end so well. Do I think that you should have a mentor? Because I get this question being asked a lot. And I say, one, it's really a personal preference. I really believe more in practice rather than theory. And what I see the purpose of a mentor is mainly for guidance. And guidance, which is always good, because if you have someone holding your hand, you know, saying, you know what, don't go there, then you avoid a lot of mistakes that can be costly in this business.
So I see you watching. We got Dwayne Hales in the house.
Hello.
He's got the Property Hustle YouTube channel.
Yes.
And that is amazing. And just want to shout you guys. And if you are not already subscribed, you got to follow BTALKS on the YouTube. It's like, what I love about yours is like the 360 on the rent to rent, but it's a different vibe, you know, and it just feels more real. I love it when, you know, when you're just out there telling your story because you want to tell your story. So we have got a few more questions. So Michael, who says, how do you stay motivated during the unknown times?
For me, what I've been doing obviously is just taking the time to sort of evaluate the business models and look at how we can improve going forward. That's how I'm staying motivated at the moment, just trying to figure out what opportunities are going to come as a result of this.
For me, what keeps me going is future Stephanie. There's somebody told me about this, and ever since I've learned it, it just makes everything else easier. So when you think about your future self, yourself in 10 years time, and your future self is thanking you, all of the stuff that puts you in a good place in 10 years time is boring or difficult or challenging to do right now.
Wow. Yeah.
So when your future self is looking at you saying, Stephanie, thank you for getting out of bed and going to the gym, or thank you for keeping going when you didn't know what was the right thing to do. But when you can focus 10 years in the future, it helps you to take the steps that are difficult to take now.
I absolutely agree with every point you made there. Your why should always be big enough to sustain you through anything.
You can answer this one. I've got another one. Buy the Block UK. How many times have you used lease options as a strategy, and do they work in all cities?
I have 3 right now, one being an apartment. This is something I always set as a goal for myself when it comes to rent to rent. Any rent to rent I attempt to secure, especially if they're direct to vendor. This is when I always use that as an opportunity to just at least pose the question, is it a possibility? And you have to remember as well, with rent to rent, you go in a lot of people's properties and you're doing a complete renovation sometimes on their properties and actually giving or adding a lot of value. But if you can, for a few rent to rent deals, try and pose the question to whoever it is that you're dealing with, so that you, at the end of the day, you can walk away with just more.
Whenever we're taking on a property, we'll always ask, are you thinking of selling this property in the next 5 to 10 years? And if they say yes, then we'll have a conversation about how we can buy it, or that we would be interested in buying it. This one, it was, the value is 160k. We put down a 16k, 1/6. Then we're paying £320 a month, and then we pay the rest. What I want to ask you is, because this is a question I get a lot, is now a good time to get started in rent to rent?
You tell me.
I feel that we're on lockdown, people are doing their toilet roll thing, homeschooling their kids, losing their minds. To start a business, you've got to put, your natural brain will go into a crisis mode, It's hard to think, it's hard to plan. So you've really got to be consciously putting that forward thinking brain on. For people who've got something that's pulling them, for people who've got that little bit, I think now is an amazing time to start. Landlords need you right now. Agents need you. And there are fewer people who are standing up to be counted. There's a lot of people who are, through no fault of their own, they can't move forward, but rather than communicating, they're just walking away from properties or walking away from deals, no communication. And so that's leaving loads of gaps that maybe agents who previously wouldn't have given you the time of day, or landlords that previously wouldn't have considered you now would consider you, or rents that previously would have been too high now are the right price for you. So I think there's so much opportunity right now for people.
I couldn't have answered that better myself. In every misfortune, unfortunately, there's a fortune. But it really does depend on your perspective. If you're open to wanting to see these opportunities, then you will see the opportunities. If you're not, then to you, it will really seem like doom and gloom, and you will carry it like that.
So people ask about whether to start, when to start. What could the people be doing now at home if they're just sort of getting started?
I had someone ask me this, what should I be doing? And I said, well, first of all, you need to be setting up a company. Go on Company's House and start setting up a company. I mean, you may not have everything in place just yet, but that's a start. And also, considering the fact that we are currently bound in our homes and everything. I think it's just a matter of taking on as much learning as you can, especially if there's something that you want to understand more of. You've never had a better opportunity to do that than now.
So, Paul, I like this, Paul. He's asked a really good question as well. When estate agents or letting agents are in the same business, why would they need you? A lot of the letting agents, they're used to running single let properties. So running an HMO is a totally different ballgame, and they don't really want to be dealing with HMOs. And so when we come along and say, well, we'll take it, guarantee the rent and manage everybody and just pay you the money, you keep your commission for doing nothing now and pay the landlord the rest. So that is a great partnership for a letting agent.
So my question to you is, just give us a little bit of a lowdown on the mistakes you've made with regards to your rent to rent, advice on how others can avoid some of the mistakes that you've made.
Okay, well, I think one of the biggest ones is not analysing the deals. We took on a property, did lots of work to it before everything was fully agreed. So we didn't have everything signed up. The contract had been agreed. We were still negotiating the terms, but we lost a bit of money doing that. So now it ain't over till the fat lady sings. Until everybody signs on the dotted line, we're not going in there doing work, advisory, consultancy or anything like that until it's all signed. What's the best way to approach direct to landlord during this pandemic?
A good platform to go on right now at this moment in time is Open Rent. What reason being is because, you know, you get direct access to landlords.
So our letters are going out just now, and they say to the effect of, well, we didn't know whether to write to you now. I know you've got a lot on your plate with everything that's going down, but you know what? We've got more on our plates because we're HMO landlords, and if there's anything we can help you with, if you've got this problem, that problem, or the next problem, you know, give us a call. Even if you're not thinking of moving management right now, we can just give you help and advice and support. So that's the letters that we're sending out right now.
So the other question from Natalie was, what is usually the minimum lease term to consider for rent to rent? It's between 3 to 5 years.
I might have to hop off as well. I should have allowed longer for this. I'm
sorry, but no, it's fine. We're gonna have to do this again. Definitely. But yeah, that was just a live Q&A, guys. Go ahead and follow me on Insta because that's where it all goes down. In the meantime, guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with that notification bell so you're always notified when I upload a video. Give it a thumbs up if you have enjoyed this video, or give it a thumbs down if you haven't enjoyed it. If you do have any questions, leave them down in the comment section. In spite of what's going on, guys, continue being hustlers.